How Not to Marry a Welshman, and Other Success Stories. Chapter 2. The Two-Way Street Paradox, in which Good and Ready, Dinmum's young, chosen family, reviews Dinmum's concise romantic history and explains the two-way street paradox in regard to hard-run sovereignty. Dinmum had tried dating in much the same tentative manner that certain individuals try skiing or snowboarding, and much like those unfortunate winter sports enthusiasts who return from the slopes with severely sprained ankles and an ironclad vow to never strap themselves to a piece of fiberglass again, she had, for all practical intents and purposes, abandoned the enterprise entirely by the time we meet her doing the immigration dance in Chapter 1. Her friends and acquaintances found it unequivocally odd that she remained proverbially single. In fact, when she eventually left her position at a local school to return to university to finish her degree, a widespread rumor circulated that she was relocating for a boyfriend in Chiang Mai. This was a fascinating piece of fiction, considering Dinmum had never physically set foot in Chiang Mai at that point, let alone possessed an acquaintance of any romantic configuration there. She had simply been solo for years. The few times she had actively or briefly attempted the dating ritual, the logistics had gone awry far too spectacularly to justify the energy expenditure. As a close friend had once astutely summarized, she does not do stuff that is vastly uncomfortable, and initially dating is usually vastly uncomfortable, ergo she does not date. While this diagnosis was perhaps an oversimplification, it was empirically accurate. Dinmum had spent the entire first 30 years of her life existing in a state of extreme prolonged uncomfortability, not related to dating, but to AWOL family situations. Having finally escaped that systematic reality, she saw absolutely no logical point in continuing down that particular rut once she was free to choose a different path. Her peace was a sovereign territory, and she had no intention of letting a doofus cross the border. Dating was, in Dinmum's documented experience, an incredibly arduous affair filled with humans who became steadily more doofy the longer you were around them, not less so. By the point in time we meet her at the immigration counter, her historical data pool was remarkably concise. She had dated precisely 5 people in the whole of her life. Not a single one of these trial ones had managed to survive past the 3-date mark or a duration of longer than 4 weeks. Granted, in every single case, it was Dinmum who had politely yet firmly declined all future outings. She had been forced to conclude, with a sort of detached clinical clarity, that she had apparently viewed the entire concept of human relationships, romantically speaking, far differently than the vast majority of the population.